fewer than a dozen people on the planet today have ever seen one alive, let alone captured high-definition video of it on the hunt.
The first time I saw one, my reaction was, what the heck is this? This is the weirdest looking fish I've ever seen.
Bruce Robinson has spent 3 decades hunting the unique deep canyons of Monterey Bay.
All systems ready to dive.
He's seen it all: swarms of jellies, rare Humboldt squid. But when the lights of his high-tech research sub caught a glimpse of a strange translucent fish, he knew he'd hit the jackpot.
Deep-sea scientists had been aware of them for about 70 years, but people didn't really know what they actually looked like some sort of spacecraft with a capsule over the top of the workings of the head.
I hope someone's getting all this down.
The images he caught that day are of a super rare fish called the barrel eye. Its looks are deceiving. What appears to be 2 eyes right above its mouth are actually nostrils. This monster of the deep's eyes are those green things buried in the center of its head.
What we're seeing is the interior of that animal's head. We're not seeing inside the brain case, but virtually all of the other sensory organs in the head are on display. The olfactory capsules, the nasal rosettes, and then of course there are the eyes, the extraordinarily well-developed eyes.
Millions of years of evolution have transformed the barrel eye's forehead into a clear lens. It protects the eyes from damage when the barrel eye steals food from jellyfish. The lens also magnifies and focuses tiny amounts of light onto those giant eyeballs that stare straight up.
The way it finds its prey is to look for silhouettes, shadows of the food it wants to eat, seen against the dimly lighted waters above.
It's the first time in 30 years that scientists were able to get this close to a barrel eye. No one knows when we'll see this bizarre sea creature again and what else lurks beyond these depths. Meet Daniel Kish. He's blind, but that doesn't stop him from riding his bike. As you watch him, remember, he can't see a thing.
I have been totally blind from the age of 13 months due to a retinal cancer. I have no visual memories.
So Daniel taught himself how to see with his ears, bouncing sound off objects like cars, trees, and poles.
We have something that isn't a tree, it's something else. There are no branches on it.
It's called flash sonar.
You're using sound to see with instead of light.
In the animal world, it's called echolocation, and it's used by dolphins, beluga whales, and bats.
Bats, for example, can echolocate, and they tend to navigate in the dark.
It works like this. The click bounces off an object. The time it takes for the echo to return tells Daniel distance and location.
Just tell me when you sense it's there.
Yeah.
Today, this real-life Batman travels the world teaching his technique to the visually impaired.
Left. Right. Right again.
That click brings information back to the user. You get location, you get dimension, the general form factor of the object, and you get what we call depth of structure, which involves the density of an object, how solid it is or how sparse it is. Flash sonar is something like carrying around a flashlight with you and shining that flashlight into the environment, except instead of light, you're using sound.
Using sound to see is what student Lanny Thompson set out to do after his world was shattered. He was hit in the head with a beer bottle.
It hit the left-hand side of my face, shattering my left eye, my orbital eye socket, and my cheekbone and jaw, leaving me with nothing but a titanium alloy head. My other eye actually happened due to the fact of the knock to the brain left a lesion that grew, severing my optic nerve.
Lanny uses his flash sonar to detect the edges of objects.
This is definitely a larger vehicle.
I can find open spaces where the echo takes longer to come back to me.
Another couple of open spaces.
To demonstrate just how well flash sonar works, Daniel agreed to the ultimate demonstration of his abilities. The goal? To find a ball in the middle of an open field. For comparison's sake, we sent out our blindfolded producer to see if she could locate the ball using, well, just blind luck.
Oh. Was I on the hill there? Am I hot?
Daniel homes in on the ball in less than 3 minutes. After about 20 minutes,
I'm not close, am I?
our frustrated producer throws in the towel.
I give up.
Daniel has taught thousands of people to see with their ears. On the streets at home, he proves that it is possible to illuminate with sound. Now, are you ready to take our time-lapse test? Here goes. How long does it take for these flesh-eating beetles to devour a deer mouse to the bone? 19 minutes? 9 hours? Or 9 days? Our time-lapse cameras will reveal the right answer in a short while. This is the world's largest, smartest, and only flying penguin.
When people see the air penguin the first time, it's just amazing. They applaud, they take pictures. They've never seen something similar before. They are overwhelmed.
Air Penguin is the creation of the robotics lab at Festo, a German company with a knack for the unusual. When their engineers aren't making flying bird bots, they're making robots that run factories around the world.
We studied the nature, especially the behavior of fish. Just think about the fins and the tails of fish, how they move, how smoothly and how efficient this movement is. And we thought about how can we do this in the real world of automation.
Each air penguin weighs less than a basketball, but is longer than a smart car.
We want to learn from nature. Nature is our inspiration.
Air penguins are filled with helium and can stay in the air powered only by a mobile phone battery for several hours. Building the air penguins started in the water, the natural environment for this penguin's robotic origins. Last year, engineers used their technology to build a totally autonomous and hauntingly realistic robot jellyfish.
We found the aqua jelly in nature as being one of the most energy-efficient creatures.
Aqua jelly runs completely autonomously. It makes its own decisions and navigates by itself. Engineers at Festo have now taken aqua jelly out of the water and tried their propulsion system in the air. With the help of a little helium, they've proved that the swimming motion can work just about anywhere. Festo's latest breakthrough is something they call swarm technology. It combines what they've learned with air penguin and air jelly. Recently, engineers released a flock of these normally flightless birds into a large warehouse. If these penguins crash into each other, thousands of hours of hard work will be lost. But these birds have tiny brains that help them steer away from trouble. Their inventors call it swarm intelligence.
Air penguins know at any time where they are at the moment.
The penguins use a system called 3D sonar. It works a lot like an aircraft's collision avoidance system. When two birds get too close, they talk to each other and agree to take opposite evasive actions to prevent a crash.
Our future goals for Festo is to apply now the findings from nature to the real world of automation.
Robotic scientists believe indoor airships with a bird's-eye view could soon be turned loose in factories, football games, and even office buildings, handling everything from mail delivery to security. These robots are helping to prove that with the right science and a little help from nature, it's possible to fly just about anything. It's time for the answer to our time-lapse test. So, how long does it take these dermestid beetles to devour a deer mouse down to the bone? 19 minutes? 9 hours? Or 9 days? With the time-lapse video, we can see that everything but the bone is consumed by these flesh eaters in about 9 hours is the correct answer. Because they leave the skeleton in pristine condition, dermestid beetles are used to clean carcasses at the Smithsonian Natural History Museum. Congratulations if you got it right. Coming up, is it possible to roller skate down a roller coaster?
Are you sure you want to do this?
And the bendable body that has doctors baffled.
When I looked at her images, part of me was wondering, is this for real?
Meet the world's most flexible woman.
Cazurile lor sunt atât de extraordinare încât